Jeong Yun is a simple woman who works at a shipping service company. At nearly 30 years old, she works tirelessly, taking on several part-time jobs just to make ends meet. To keep herself motivated, Jeong Yun even schedules daily messages to be sent to herself, reminding her to endure and not give up on life. She hopes that through all her hard work, she can change her fate for the better. Living alone doesn't mean no one cares about her. Lately, a police detective named Ki-hun has occasionally visited Jeong Yun while she's working her part-time job at a mini-market. Since tomorrow happens to be Jeong Yun's birthday, Ki-hun tells her that tonight he'll treat her to a nice meal. After finishing her shift, Jeong Yun stops by a clothing store and buys herself a new outfit as a way of celebrating the fact that she will soon leave her 20s behind. Reflecting on her difficult past, she feels that she has done her best to live her life well. However, while crossing the street, a man suddenly blocks her way. To her shock, he tells her that she will die in 6 hours. Naturally, Jeong Yun finds it hard to believe the words of a complete stranger, especially since at the exact time he mentioned, she already has plans to go out with her friend. But the man insists that she won't make it to that meeting. At first, Jeong Yun dismisses it, but when she later meets her friend, their plans are abruptly cancelled. This makes her begin to reflect on the stranger's words. Could they be true? At the very same crosswalk, she encounters the man again, this time saving her from almost being hit by a motorcycle. He introduces himself as Jun Woo and explains that his only goal is to ensure she stays alive for the next 6 hours because he has had a vision of how she is destined to die. Meanwhile, the police are investigating a murder case involving 2 female victims. Their cause of death: stab wounds to the chest and neck. The murder weapon, however, was not found at the crime scene. Detective Ki-hun, who is part of the investigation, suspects that the killer murdered the victims elsewhere before moving the bodies. Evidence includes a voice recording showing that the victims had been stalked, along with a warning message from the culprit predicting their deaths. Detective Ki-hun suggests that they should focus on the so-called death predictor, who followed the 2 victims, as it is highly possible that the fortune teller and the killer are one and the same person. The scene shifts back to Jeong Yun, who is still questioning Jun Woo's ability to see visions. Jun Woo himself doesn't understand why he has this gift. He can only see the future of certain people. It's not just glimpses of someone's death, but also visions beyond human comprehension, things that most people would believe impossible. The point is, Jun Woo cannot control his gift. His visions come suddenly and without warning. Curious, Jeong Yun wants to know how she will die. Was it going to be a car accident, a heart attack, or even a zombie bite? Jun Woo firmly tells her that she will be murdered, stabbed directly in the chest until she dies. The only problem is, he cannot see the face of her killer. So how does Jun Woo know that Jeong Yun only has 6 hours left? In his vision, he saw her wearing the same clothes, looking at her wristwatch as it struck midnight. Even though Jeong Yun doubts him, Jun Woo insists that every vision he has ever had has always come true. Jun Woo then shares his past experiences. A year ago, he foresaw a woman being murdered in an abandoned factory. Then, just a month ago, he had another vision of a woman trapped in the trunk of a car, bound and stabbed in the stomach. He had tried to warn that woman, but she didn't believe him. Both victims ended up dead because Jun Woo couldn't find clear clues about the exact time of their deaths. But now Jeong Yun's case is different. He has a precise clue about when her death will occur. That's why Jun Woo is convinced he still has a chance to save her, if only Jeong Yun is willing to believe him. Perhaps the future cannot be changed, but Jun Woo suggests that if he were in her place, knowing he would be killed, the best course of action would be to start investigating and finding out who might want her dead. Meanwhile, Detective Ki-hun is approached by his colleague Yoon Jung, who brings up the Club Maze case. Club Maze had been involved in the exploitation of minors, and Detective Ki-hun happened to be in charge of that investigation. Yoon Jung reveals that there may be a connection between Club Maze and the serial murders they are now investigating. Evidence shows that the murder victims had once worked there. If the cases are indeed linked, the number of victims could be much higher. With only 5 hours left until the predicted time of death, Jeong Yun suspects that someone has been secretly following her. It turns out the man she is suspicious of is one of her former clients from when she used to work as a rental girlfriend. Usually, Jeong Yun was paid for 3 hours to accompany the man, walking, eating, or watching a movie. But ever since the club shut down, she has had the eerie feeling of being watched. Although she tried reporting it to the police, she lacked evidence to prove that the man was stalking her. To make matters worse, a year ago, the same club where she worked had also employed underage girls. Because of this, the police began investigating Jeong Yun herself, needing her testimony. Coincidentally, Detective Ki-hoon was the one to interrogate her. At first, he asked her about the underage workers, but over time, he became more interested in her personally, wondering why a woman had to work so hard and live such an unfair life. Jeong Yun realizes that Detective Ki-hoon is trying to empathize with her, but as a woman hardened by life's struggles, she has no desire for anyone's pity. Finally, based on information from one of her former colleagues at the club, Jeong Yun arrives at the home address of the man who used to be her client. But they arrive too late. The man had already left. According to the innkeeper, he was planning to return to his hometown by taking the night ship. Unbeknownst to both Jeong Yun and Jun Woo, an undercover informant is following them under Detective Ki-hoon's orders. When Ki-hoon learns that a man is accompanying Jeong Yun, he instructs the informant to send him a photo of the man so he can identify his face. While Jeong Yun is on her way to the harbor, her attention is suddenly drawn to Jun Woo, who clutches his head in pain. Another vision has struck him. What he sees is an elderly woman who resembles Jeong Yun, surrounded by her family, all of them grieving. Jeong Yun immediately thinks of her grandmother, who had been hospitalized the previous week after a car accident. She calls her family to confirm, only to learn that her grandmother's condition is actually improving. Soon after, she intends to approach Jun Woo, but coincidentally runs into the very man she had been searching for, the former client she once dated through her rental job. Jun Woo quickly steps in protectively, worried the man might harm her. But the man explains that the real reason he is leaving the city is because life has felt meaningless since he could no longer meet Jeong Yun. From his bag, he pulls out a small doll, the very same one Jeong Yun had given him during their first date, and now he wishes to return it. Before parting ways, Jeong Yun asks why he had always been so quiet during their dates, never asking for anything, never appearing happy. The man admits he understood her feelings well. Both of them were trapped in the same place, lonely and isolated. Even if this is their last meeting, he hopes Jeong Yun won't forget him. If this man truly had no malicious intent, then he cannot be the culprit. This leaves Jeong Yun questioning everything. Will she really die the way Jun Woo foresaw, or is it all just a nightmare? Meanwhile, Detective Ki-hoon and Yoon Jung finally manage to identify Jun Woo's face. Shockingly, he is recognized as the boyfriend of a woman who had been murdered in the abandoned factory case 1 year ago. Ki-hoon suspects that Jun Woo may have killed his own girlfriend and fabricated an alibi with a hidden motive. Now, Jeong Yun has only 2 hours left to live. The problem is, she has no idea who else she should suspect or who might try to kill her. If Jun Woo has been lying all along, then he himself could very well be the murderer. Still, Jeong Yun tries to remain optimistic, even persuading Jun Woo to accompany her to a shop that sells self-defense equipment. Her reasoning, even if she dies, at least she wants to minimize the pain. The shopkeeper shows them several knives and bulletproof vests. The vest, however, can only block bullets, not knives. As she considers her options, Jeong Yun suddenly receives a call. It's Detective Ki-hoon. He asks whether she is currently with the man who claims to see the future. Jeong Yun is stunned. How could Ki-hoon possibly know? Ki-hoon warns her that Jun Woo is a suspect in the serial murders and that everything he told her is a lie. According to Ki-hoon, Jun Woo is most likely targeting her life. Ki-hoon pleads with her to help him capture Jun Woo, promising that no matter what happens, he will protect her. Filled with anxiety and uncertainty, Jeong Yun makes her decision. She chooses to believe Detective Ki-hoon. Jeong Yun then takes Jun Woo to a parking lot, exactly as Detective Ki-hoon had instructed her. To keep Jun Woo from becoming suspicious, Jeong Yun tells him that she chose this place intentionally as the site of her death, reminding him that only 25 minutes remain. Meanwhile, the inspector receives a report from Officer Nam, who had been ordered to monitor Jeong Yun. It is revealed that the club where Jeong Yun once worked was in fact Club Maze. Now the inspector learns that Jeong Yun is with a man named Jun Woo, whom Detective Ki-hun suspects to be the killer. At first, the inspector believes it was Yoon Jung who instructed Officer Nam to shadow Jun Woo under Ki-hun's orders. In truth, however, Yoon Jung knows nothing about Nam. He is actually Ki-hun's personal informant. This is where the misunderstanding unravels. The story Ki-hun had been telling Yoon Jung was not the real truth. With just 11 minutes left, Jun Woo notices an unusual nervousness on Jeong Yun's face. From this, he realizes that she still doesn't fully trust him, especially after seeing how her behavior changed following the phone call she had earlier, a call she refuses to reveal the details of. At 11:57 p.m., Jeong Yun grows more frantic, even refusing to let Jun Woo touch her. Though his ability to foresee death may sound unbelievable, Jun Woo desperately begs her to trust him. Just this once. At that very moment, Ki-hun arrives, pointing his gun directly at Jun Woo and ordering him to release Jeong Yun. But Jun Woo is not unprepared. He pulls a folding knife from his pocket. Certain that the killer will appear at any moment, he refuses to drop the blade, even with a gun aimed at him. To Detective Ki-hun, Jun Woo's actions are not predictions of death, but proof that he wants to demonstrate his power to kill anyone he chooses. Yet Jun Woo's eyes fall on the tattoo on Ki-hun's hand, and at last he realizes the truth. Ki-hun is the killer from his vision. Jun Woo lunges, intending to attack Ki-hun, but fate betrays him. Ki-hun shoots first, leaving him sprawled on the ground. Checking the time on her phone, Jeong Yun is relieved to see it strike midnight, believing she has escaped death. But when she compares it with her wristwatch, she is horrified. The watch lags behind by 1 minute, meaning the predicted moment of her death has not yet passed. From Ki-hun's increasingly suspicious behavior, Jeong Yun finally understands. The true murderer is not Jun Woo, but Detective Ki-hun himself. His motive: he believed the women who once worked at Club Maze were guilty of concealing the club's crimes, such as the exploitation of minors. In his twisted mind, these women had to be killed in order to be purified. Although Jeong Yun believes the women were innocent, Ki-hun despised those involved, especially the adult women who worked at the club. To him, their silence made them complicit in protecting the crimes. That included Jeong Yun, whom he deemed unworthy of being saved. Despite her fear, Jeong Yun steels herself to face Ki-hun. Rather than hope for rescue, she believes only she can save her own life. She fights back, but Ki-hun quickly stabs her with a knife, which she desperately tries to hold back with her hands. Unexpectedly, Jun Woo, still alive, rushes in and intervenes. The two men clash violently, grappling for the weapon, until at last Ki-hun is left lying helpless on the ground. Consumed by rage, Jun Woo wants to finish him off, but Jeong Yun cries out to stop him. She doesn't want Jun Woo to become a murderer. Realizing how close he came to losing control, Jun Woo steps back and leaves Ki-hun to be dealt with by the police. The reason Jun Woo survived is revealed. He had secretly been wearing the bulletproof vest they had bought earlier from the self-defense shop without Jeong Yun knowing. Since he could not foresee his own future, he had chosen to wear it as a precaution. Yet he regrets that Jeong Yun could not fully block Ki-hun's stab. Had the blade gone any deeper, she might have died instantly. Later, at the hospital, Jun Woo opens up. The woman murdered in the abandoned factory a year ago had been his girlfriend. Though he had seen a vision of her death, he had been powerless to stop it, unable to know the exact time or the killer's identity. But Jeong Yun's survival proves something. Jun Woo really had succeeded in changing someone's fate, and by saving her, he indirectly changed the fate of many others who might have been targeted if the killer hadn't been caught. After those words, Jun Woo disappears from Jeong Yun's life without a farewell. Though their parting feels empty, life must go on. Then one day, unexpectedly, fate reunites them. Both are now living normal lives. Jun Woo no longer has the ability to foresee death, but recalling his final vision, he remembers the image of an elderly woman with Jeong Yun's face, surrounded by a loving family. That old woman was indeed Jeong Yun in her later years, lying critically ill with her husband at her side. Jun Woo knows for certain that man was not him. His visions meant one thing: he had truly changed Jeong Yun's fate. What should have been just 6 hours of life left had transformed into a long, happy life, one with love, a family, and years of joy, until Jeong Yun finally passed away peacefully at the age of 60. And that's it for the story series of this film. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to support this channel by subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next video. Goodbye.